The first story that I ever heard of anyone having a situation with family or friends was my third year in the NBA. I was with the Los Angeles Clippers. It was a rookie on my team who was a lottery pick, and it was All-Star break. And during All-Star break, All-Star weekend, if you're not selected to a team or, any of the events that weekend, you usually go home. This particular person was selected to play in the rookie game, but he had a couple days. I don't remember whether it was before the All-Star game. It probably was afterwards, where you can go home for a couple days until you have to report back home. Back to your city where you play. And I was kind of in charge of this kid. He didn't have, any driver's license, so I was kind of the veteran on the team at the time. And so I was responsible for picking him up and dropping him off at practice and things of that nature. So I remember him coming back home from New York, coming back to L.A. after All-Star weekend. And I said, "Hey, bro, how was your trip? Did you have a good time?" He said, "Bruh, I ain't going back home." I'm like, "What you talking about?" Because for me, going back home in the summer was the thing to do. I was going back home to Carbondale. I really didn't have any situations or any pressures like that at that time, probably because I wasn't making a lot of money. But he said, "I'm not going back home." I said, "Why not? What you talking about?" He said, "Man, I ain't going back. I'm staying here in L.A. I'm going to give me a crib here and I'm going to stay." And I'm like, "Bro, what happened?" And he was like, "Man," he said, "you wouldn't believe it, man." He said, "One of my childhood friends, a guy from the neighborhood who I grew up with, we went to school together, this, that, and the third." He said, "Man," he told me, "it's going to be hard for me to come home." And he said, "I thought he was joking at first." And he said, so I asked him, like, "What you talking about? Like, is some cats talking crazy about me? What's going on?" And he was like, "No, ain't nobody really talking bad about you, nothing like that." He said, "It's just going to be hard for you to come back home." And he said, "So what are you talking about?" And this is one of his closest friends growing up. The dude told him, "Bruh, unless you break me off and you break the neighborhood off, you can't come back here no more." And that was the first time, and I was like, whoa, for real? Because in my hometown, Carbondale, Illinois, that never happened to me, and I didn't even think it would happen or could happen. So it really surprised me that this was happening on this level, because this guy was star-studded, and he really loved going back home. He loved his neighborhood in New York. So, and it really bothered him and it hurt him. So that was the first time I had ever heard somebody being told that they could not come back home if they didn't pay the block.